Let's talk about last night's Heat game. That was such a fun, needed victory over the Knicks. One of the things that I loved, Will, was Jimmy Butler being Jimmy Butler out there. He's jawing with Julius Randle. He's chirping and looking at Dwayne Wade during the game, and after the game, they're embracing. And I kind of felt like you were starting to see playoff Jimmy begin to arrive. Did you get that vibe?
Yeah, and I honestly, guys, I think we've seen it since the All-Star break. I mean, since the All-Star break, I couldn't name you guys on one hand that have been better than Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy's been averaging 26. His efficiency is off the wall. I mean, it's the stuff he's done since the break has been superstar elite stuff, and it goes kind of unnoticed because the Heat have still been a little up and down. But he is in whatever you want to call it, playoff Jimmy, that next gear, that next level. He's there and locked in. And if they could just get anything like the effort they get from Tyler in the fourth and Kyler coming off the bench and the three starting to drop, then this could be a team that, could look like the team we expected entering the playoffs. Unfortunately, as maybe a 6 seed, but still, I think they could be peaking at the right time with Jimmy playing that type of ball.
And Will, you talked about it with Kyle coming off the bench. Tyler might not start, but he's going to close every game, and he's playing well in the fourth quarter. And just Jimmy being Jimmy. Are we watching what the setup of this team? Is this what we have to do? These guys filling these roles for us to compete in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think so. And, it goes back to Kyle, too. Like, you hate to put it all on him, but it's clear how different they are when he's just effective, right? Like, you don't need 18.9 assists Toronto Raptors, Kyle. But if you get 12.6 assists, push the pace, sets up his teammates well, Kyle, that's a productive player, especially in the bench role and Spo really kind of scattering his minutes and making sure he's in key spots in the game. I think between that and the way Tyler has played fourth quarters and Bam is just, Bam throughout. I mean, Bam's going to do all the dirty work and have to do some of the big work too, sometimes the heavy lifting. But when Jimmy's playing at that level, I think that formula, guys, can be successful. Now, could it be a team that makes another run to the Eastern Finals? That's probably asking a lot given where they are now. But at least it gives them the best chance to compete entering the playoffs.
Yesterday, Will, we were talking with Clay Ferrero, who's who you work with at Local 10, and Clay mentioned that a couple weeks ago, the goal everybody was saying, avoid the play-in seed because you don't want to play Boston or Milwaukee. And right now, Boston seems to have regressed a little. And Clay was saying, as much as he'd like to see the Heat really get out of the 7 seed, just for the sake of ending their season strongly, he doesn't think it's as big of a priority anymore. The priority is now just avoid Milwaukee in the first round. Do you think right now the Miami Heat, playing the way they're playing, could potentially give Boston a run for their money, considering their regression?
I mean, look, Boston has struggled. I still don't want to see them in the playoffs because I think that Tatum and Brown and that combination of players they have and they're championship tested, that's a team that I still think could be dangerous. But I think also Philly's playing much better. The dynamic is different there. I think with Philly, you feel you have a better chance for 2 reasons. Number one is you've beaten them before. And number two is, let's face it, you never wish injury on a player, but Embiid is the kind of guy that is a little brittle and that sometimes could, we saw it last year, miss a game or two. And it's a significant issue in a 7-game series. So to me, I still think the ideal matchup for them first round is Philly. I'd rather avoid Boston, but I think above it all, guys, is just avoid the play-in. You just don't want to get to a position where you have to win just to save your season. You have to win 1 or 2 games basically as that 7 seed. You want to just have a firm spot in 6, and whoever falls there, whether it's Philly or Boston, you're ready. You've seen that team before, and you give it your best shot in the 7-game series.
And just back to the players quickly, Will, I can't brush over it. I don't trust Kyle Lowry. I'm not going to lie. Like, he played well last night, but before that, his game logs were nothing, bro. How do we go in there? How do we go into the playoffs trusting that Kyle's going to be, one, healthy, and if he's healthy, efficient on the field and doing what you just said, facilitating, not being selfish? Like, I don't trust him to do any of that, and stay healthy is on the list.
Look, I don't blame you. Like, when I talk to Heat fans about that, like, and they complain about Kyle and his inconsistency and all this stuff, I get it. Like, and that's why I try to say, like, okay, I don't expect Toronto Raptors Kyle. But I do think that in the couple of years he's been here, there have been moments where Kyle last night, a little bit, you saw a lot of what he can do. You've seen it a bit since he came back in that bench role from the knee injury. They're scattering his minutes. They're trying to just make it where he's his most effective at whatever minutes he gets. And those spurts with the second unit kind of, one thing Miami struggled with all year is offense. And the offense gets stagnant and the ball sticks and it doesn't move with Kyle there, at least it's moving. And when he can knock down a shot, it's even better the way he has a couple times against he's come back. So, Channing, I understand your take. I don't blame you. I understand it. But I do think that for the Heat to get to the level they want to get, they have to have Kyle. They can't go in where it's just Gabe and they don't have a productive backup, point guard, somebody who can space the floor and lead the offense when Gabe isn't on the floor. Because Gabe has his moments where he's consistent and up and down, but when they play together to fill the 48 minutes, I think that's the best version of this Miami Heat team.
And they probably need to find a few minutes for Duncan, too, right?
Oh, goodness.
I'm teasing.
Here we go. I was waiting for the Duncan drop. It can't be a hit without a Duncan drop.
It was fun last night and Saturday night. I mean, talk about a playoff atmosphere. Saturday night is going to be great against Brooklyn. We're looking forward to watching. Wait. Go enjoy some tennis. Will Manso from Local 10 and Bally Sports Sun. Thank you, Will.
Anytime. Solana, turn out the lights Saturday night. We'll see you then.
Yes, sir. You and me, Will.
Solana wants to get there now. That is Solana. Saturday night is going to be lit.
I might need to get there now, considering the traffic from Ultra on Saturday. Me and Will will be stuck in Ultra traffic on the way home on 95.
What time's the game start on Saturday? 8:00, I think.
8 p.m.
What time are you going to get there? Honestly, you got to navigate some traffic, man.
I'm guessing from Kendall, it will take me an hour and a half at least to get there. So I'm planning to leave super early.
All right. There you go. Will Manso from Local 10. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more Hochman and Crowder.